from 10 points down to beat the Blue Devils 38-20. FSU head coach Mike Norvell gave credit to the Florida State crowd.
I want to definitely shout out just our fan base. There's no words that can really do justice for how much I just appreciate them and the impact that they've made. I mean, last 3 games, you play 3 straight home games, and every one of them's a sellout. Every one of them's an incredible atmosphere. Tonight was special, though. There's nothing like Doak Campbell at night. To see the energy, to see our guys and how they battled throughout, really fed off that. It was remarkable.
FSU head coach Mike Norvell. It's 76 degrees at 6 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air Conditioning. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I mean, another Victory Monday. You're still celebrating, right? I guess the game was on a Thursday night, but you had a Friday, you had a Saturday, you had a Sunday. My goodness, the football being played around here. Pretty spectacular. It's almost, at times I don't know how to handle it. The success, winning, the college team. 7-0, winning. The pro team, 5-2, winning. An opportunity to go out on the road, take advantage of that extra 72 hours worth of rest, and punch around Pittsburgh this weekend to get to 6-2, more, winning. And then a bye week. And, the division right now, you already got a 2-game lead over Tennessee. It appears the fire sale has begun for the Titans. Obviously, most of you aware of the fact that Kevin Byard moved a little bit earlier today. Philadelphia going to get that much better defensively. And the Eagles, we saw what they did last night to the number 1 ranked offense in the National Football League. But anyway, the division, couple of teams had a bye. We had, 6 overall. But, of course, both Tennessee and Houston did not play. Indianapolis let Cleveland off the hook. So the team who benefited most was that of the Jacksonville Jaguars, who, of course, had their big win this past Thursday. So it's great to be with you. We enter week number 4 in October. You've got to be kidding me. It's really the 23rd day. This is absolutely nuts. Here we are on the cusp of Georgia-Florida week. It is the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. Folks will start rolling in as early as, right now, maybe tomorrow, especially those who don't have jobs. They'll start coming in on Tuesday and Wednesday. They probably don't even make it into the game, but they just want to be a part of the atmosphere. They just want to be part of the event. And, Georgia, an enormous favorite here, 14.5, but it's a rivalry game. And after what Florida did, that come-from-behind victory that we all watched on the road at South Carolina, absolutely they have a puncher's chance. And if this was 3 weeks ago, I would have said, yeah, they legitimately have a puncher's chance. But it feels like Georgia kind of flipped the switch in what they were able to do, both when it came to running the ball and finally getting some wide receivers involved. We know that Brock Bowers absolutely is not going to be able to play for Kirby Smart this weekend. And Georgia has, a 24-25 game home winning streak on the line. They've won 19 in a row. So much on that game as we move throughout the course of the week. Also want to really reflect on Saturday night in Tallahassee. It was just incredible. I can't get over how great that atmosphere was. And I've been to so many games in Tallahassee for well over 30 years. And I've been to games where crowds have made a difference. And I'm thinking some early ones in when I was a freshman at games like I guess it was my sophomore year when Michigan State rolled in there with Tony Mandrich with his shirt off. He was sitting in the stands because they caught him all roided up. And it was Andre Rison against Deion Sanders. And, of course, big and a lot of those teams wouldn't come in. I'd love to say Michigan came in, but Florida State then would turn the other cheek. Yeah, we'll go to Michigan. We'll go to play Michigan in 91, but don't have Michigan come here and play. Yeah, we'll go play Notre Dame in 93, but, that 94 game, Oh, you don't want to play it in Tallahassee? Oh, you want to play it in Orlando? Okay. And I'm so tired of, turning the other cheek. We'll buckle. Florida State was like grandparents, the mom and the dad gets pissed at the kid. You go to the grandparent, and the grandparent, you could commit homicide. And the grandparent's like, I didn't see anything. Those are good grandparents. You never get the grandson, the granddaughter in trouble. Florida State did that forever. Miami did too. Look at Schnellenberger. Look at Bowden. Look at their trips to Columbus, Ann Arbor, Norman, Lincoln, South Bend. It didn't matter. They went. They never came back. Well, things are different now. And for a while, it got kind of flat. Not Saturday night. That place was jumping. And it made a difference. 31-3 run by Florida State. This was a 17-7 Duke lead. And Duke was still up 20-17 as we began the fourth quarter. And, yeah, there was some nervousness there. There's no question. There absolutely was. And I'm one of those, and I say it all the time. And JJ can attest. I am such a stickler of the intangible of when you play an opponent home and away. I'll say it again. Florida State getting Clemson a month ago at high noon was awesome. They get Wake Forest coming up in 5 days at noon. That is awesome. You want to play a team like Duke? Let them come in here. Losing 21 in a row to Florida State, it's now 22 in a row to Florida State. But play it at night. Right now I'm hoping is that game in Gainesville at the end of the year is not at night. Okay? I hope the Miami-Florida State game in 3 weekends is at night because that's back in God's country. It makes a difference. And you can take the crowd out of a game. You can do it in any sport. Okay? We're watching Game 6 right now. Arizona up 3-1 in the third. They got on the board early in this game. Those Philadelphia fans, as you know, they are lunatics. All it's going to take is for a base hit or something to happen here. They just put a crosser on. It was 3-0, now 3-1. And that crowd's going to get back into it. You can make a difference that the crowd maybe doesn't mean as much at the professional level as it does on Saturday in college football. And I'd listen to that argument. But when you go into these cathedrals, particularly in the Deep South, man, it makes a difference. And that crowd, even when there was panic in the air, instead of looking to their left, looking to their right, and sitting down and tucking their hands in their jacket or whatever it was, they just continued to make more and more and more noise. It was about as good as anything I can ever remember over there. And that's saying something considering, the Florida State victories over the Gators or Florida State victories over the Hurricanes, which obviously mean a heck of a lot more than a 16th ranked Duke team coming in. But I'm just telling you the way it was. And, I can't remember the last time I gushed over a Florida State crowd like this. It's been too long of a time. But they did theirs. And Florida State did respond. They now have won 13 in a row. In those 13 victories, they have scored 30-plus points a football game. Jordan Travis had gone 180 passes without a pick until that deflection and the eventual pick six. And, for Florida State right now, it seems like they pick one another up. When the defense makes a mistake, the offense will pick them up. When the offense makes a mistake, special teams is going to come up immediately, as we started with Deuce Spann in the 99-yard kick return. So it is comforting to know that with all the attention on Jordan Travis and whether or not he is a Heisman Trophy candidate, there are others who come up big with the game on the line. And it's been every phase. It's been offense, it's been defense, it's been special teams, the coaching. And for the most part, I think you hear the criticism of the coaching when things don't work, like Norvell in those fourth down attempts. I've been screaming about this all year. Florida State struggles in short yardage. They just do. And you can try to line up Travis and run with him, or you can hand the ball to Trey Benson and run with him. I hate it, but I've said it since LSU. It's going to rear its ugly head at some point. They have to get more physical in the ditch. And this Duke defensive line, they rotated 10 guys, and they stayed fresh. Now, they found a way to win it anyway, but 31 and 4th and 1, that's an issue right now for Florida State. All right, something else that I've been talking about for quite some time, and I hate it when I'm right because it's not a cool feeling, especially in this set of circumstances. But the Johnny Wilson injury is enormous, okay? He's more than a decoy. He's a man who makes big plays. And here's where we sit. We don't know what's going on. That's Mike Norvell's way. He's not going to let you know. He's not going to let us know. A couple of weeks ago, when Johnny Wilson reportedly, we thought, had a concussion, and I say it that way because officially we don't know. And coming out of the game on Saturday, when he left after that 11-yard reception late in the third quarter, people were wondering, was it his knee? Was it a concussion? Is this his first concussion? Is this his second concussion in 3 weeks? Was he cleared immediately when he was part of the concussion protocol 3 weeks ago? We don't know the answer to any of these questions. But, I got to believe that if this is the second time his bell has been rung, he could be gone for the year. If he's not gone for the year, he's certainly gone this weekend in Winston-Salem, and I got to believe he's not going to be available for that game against Pittsburgh. I think any Florida State fan alive right now would say if you can get Johnny Wilson healthy by Miami, which is 20 days away, you would probably take that. But we don't know the answers to these particular questions. There's only two ways it's going to come out. Number one, if Johnny Wilson takes to social media like he did a couple of weeks ago when he said he was all right, or when the media is allowed to watch them make their entrance into the practice facility and the brief amount of time that they get to observe during, stretching and stuff along those lines, if he's actually in uniform. That remains to be seen. Destin Hill, their third leading wide receiver, didn't even play on Saturday night. Your fourth leading wide receiver, Winston Wright, quit the team a couple of weeks ago. So this is the part that I hate about being right. I've been nervous about this for quite some time. If Wilson and or Coleman can't go, who's going to catch the football for Florida State? Portier's played a ton of snaps. 58 last week. He played nearly that 2 nights ago. Had one ball off the top of his fingers, all right? 1 target, 0 receptions. Hakeem Williams made a nice grab in a very limited amount of play. Deuce Spann, not seeing the field. Destin Hill, again, injured, did not play. Troy Williamson, not a great night. Let me look that up again off the tip of my tongue. I'm trying to remember, did he do anything in this football game? And I guess, you can go on, you could say, well, you know what, who cares? They went to Jaheim Bell 10 times, and he ended up having 8 receptions in the game. And Keon Coleman got his. And, they can find a way to throw it to Morlock, and find a way to throw it to Toa Feely, and they're going to be all right. And I understand that side of thinking about things. But when I watch this team practice, there's so much talent at wide receiver Travis threw it 36 times. He was 27 of 36. Let's look at this now. The combination of Wilson and Coleman caught it 7 times. Okay, after that, Jaheim Bell, 8. Toa Thiele, 4. Morlock, 1. The other tight end, the third tight end, the blocking tight end, Marcuston Douglas, 2 receptions. Then you go to wide receivers. That's it. Hakeem Williams, 2. You had Benson, and then you had Holmes, who caught 1 ball. So your wide receivers, not named Wilson and Coleman, in a 450-plus effort, a come-from-behind 31-3 run, had a combined 2 receptions for 18 yards. And that's what you got now when you go to Wake. And I'm enjoying this win just like any Florida State fan is. But I'm telling you, this is something that has concerned me for a very long period of time, and it concerns me right now. So let's look at this before we head to our first break. We'll come back. We got a ton to do tonight. That's going to include, obviously, the very latest here on the Jacksonville Jaguars. But if you're not named Coleman or Wilson, wide receivers right now at Florida State, you've got Akeem Williams with 4, Destin Hill with 5, Darian Williamson with 5. So that's 14 among those 3. Deuce Spawn with 1. Vandarius Jacobs with 1. So your next 5 wide receivers have a combined 16 receptions through 7 games. 16 receptions for your next top 5 receivers through 7 games, not named Keon Coleman, not named Johnny Wilson, and we know Johnny Wilson's not playing this weekend. To me, that is something that needs to be addressed. And you watch him in the game as he's looking, and maybe that's enough. Look for your stars. Look for Jaheim Bell. Look for Keon Coleman. Look for Johnny Wilson. And if any of them go down, deal with it later. But so far this year, Bell was out. Remember the one game, 2 or 3 games ago, when he played 6 plays? He has bounced back from an injury. Johnny Wilson's gone down now twice. Keon Coleman, knock on wood, has really been the exception to the rule. But there's so much football left. 5 games, including 3 on the road, and then hopefully, more than just a bowl game. You're talking about, obviously, the Atlantic Coast Conference Championship game, and hopefully a trip into the playoff, which I want to get to that as well, because I know ESPN put up that graphic, and it just boiled the blood of so many, but I think it's worth discussing. So we're going to do that coming up here tonight as well, right here on this Monday edition. All right, opening comments tonight and every night brought to you by Shmunez Vision. Known Dr. Neil Shmunez for quite some time. You're talking about 37 years worth of experience. And, again, sitting in the stands Saturday, I had phenomenal seats, but it's really interesting. You look to your left, you look to your right, you see people struggling. They can't see the scoreboard. They can't see the field. What number was that? And I don't chuckle because I feel bad, but I'm like, why not take advantage of this? Why not take complete advantage of it? I'm telling you, right now, if you have a problem with your vision, I have the answer for you. It's called Shmunez Vision. Go to shmunezvision.com. Anything you could possibly think of. And it's so much more than just a normal eye checkup. I'm talking about high-quality medical and surgical eye care. And I have my right eye surgically done by Dr. Neil Shmunez going back over 8.5 years ago. So anything that you could possibly want, any questions you have, any issues that you have, maybe you're nervous about this, nervous about that, whether it's cataract issues or anything else, okay? Check them out online. Go to shmunezvision.com or set up an appointment at 299-2906. All right, we got plenty to do. When we come back, we'll check in with our good friend J.J. LaSalva. The Canes had an enormous victory as well this weekend over Clemson. It was a great Saturday for college football. It was a great Thursday for the Jacksonville Jaguars. All of that coming up as we get things started right here on a Monday edition.
From the big hit,
The ball comes out!
to the clutch catch.
Make the catch!
Performance Painting presents the high-performance play of the game on 1010XL. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Here's Linda Beaver.
Are you afraid to buy your next car? Well, have no fear because Beaver Toyota and Beaver Chevrolet offer Beaver's not-so-scary pricing. There's no monsters popping up in your rearview mirror with Beaver's peace of mind warranties. Check out thousands of vehicles for sale online and get answers to all your questions with no tricks and all the treats. I promise our team will take away all those fears. Just come see Beaver Toyota in St. Augustine or Beaver Chevrolet in Jacksonville for Beaver's not-so-scary pricing.
What? They did not tell me they were going to do that. I need a new bank.
Well, actually, One-to-One Financial doesn't do the usual bank surprises because we're not a bank. We're a credit union, and that means lower loan interest, things like free checking and member rewards, and of course, total investment back into our community.
I'm sold.
Find a better way to bank than big banks with One-to-One Financial, Jacksonville's hometown credit union. Visit 121fcu.org for more information on opening an account today.
Federally insured by NCUA.
All right, Ballou here, checking with words of wisdom to be a part of life in your business from the business attorneys at Jimerson Burr. Let's go to Tim Ferriss. He once said this, and I do quote, "Focus on being productive instead of busy," end of quote. What an outstanding quote. There's a lot of truth to that. Also, a lot of truth to this. You are a business owner. There are always issues there. Some already there. Others waiting to be there. So when you look at Jimerson Burr, why not look at it as a legal health check? Issues that could arise, and there are so many. I mean, there's literally hundreds. Why not have your business set and ready with early detection to give you the best chance of getting the right legal treatment once one of these issues comes right onto your lap? For all of that information, just go to jimersonfirm.com.
Okay, listen up, team. They're out to test our reputation as the best plumber in Jacks, so we gotta play like the experts we are. When customers call with leaky faucets, broken water heaters, toilet repairs, broken pipes, or any other challenge, we'll give them the solution fast. Now, who are we?
Roland Reese Plumbing!
I can't hear you.
Roland Reese Plumbing!
Now that's what a winner sounds like. Customers always win with Roland Reese Plumbing at plumberinjacks.com.
This is former NFL quarterback David Garrard. If your knees have taken a beating and you're finally ready to do something about it, then let Southeast Orthopedic take a look. Come on, do your knees a favor.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Jags fans, Gate is offering the ultimate prize this season. A chance for you and 3 friends to meet Trevor Lawrence. With the My Gate Rewards Gatorade Club, for every 5 Gatorade products you buy, you'll enter for a chance to win. See store for details. Gate, your hometown convenience store.
It's your avenue to Athens.
Follow Mandarin's Carson Beck and the Bulldogs all season long on the Bulldog Report.
Brought to you by Travis Cummings and the Bailey Group on 1010XL. How about the Dogs?
Mike Dempsey here, and thanks to Awaken 180, I hit my goal of dropping more than 25 pounds. My joints feel better. I can fit into size 34 jeans again, and the biggest goal, finding a program that would help me keep the weight off for life. That's Awaken180weightloss.com.
When it comes to commercial fence services, Superior Fence and Rail has you covered. If your business needs automatic gates or security fence and railings, trust Superior with your next commercial project. Superior's team delivers great communication, high-quality products, and exceptional customer service. Just read any of their 2,300-plus reviews.
When you're on the fence, about a fence, SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
Mia here. If you found a $100 bill on the ground, you wouldn't walk past it. So why are you passing up on cashing winners every weekend? MyBookie has the biggest online selection of odds and contests to fill all your sports betting needs, anytime, anywhere, so you can turn that sports knowledge into cash in your wallet. Bet on the NFL, MLB playoffs, or play for a share of big cash prizes in the weekly blackjack tournaments. If you've been waiting for the right time to get in on the action, that time is now. Make your winning move today. What better week than the cocktail party ahead, as well as the Jags traveling to face the Steelers on Sunday. Sign up at MyBookie, use promo code 1010XL, and claim your deposit match, redeemable up to $1,000. Again, that's promo code 1010XL to claim your bonus. Experience the thrill of sports betting right from the comfort of your home. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere, only with MyBookie.
Whether it's a mopped floor, a spilled drink, or even a few drops of rain, a slippery situation at a store or business can cause a dangerous slip and fall. If you've suffered injuries in a slip and fall, call Farah & Farah. Our team of investigators will examine the facts to determine if the business was negligent. When it comes to slip and fall cases, the burden of proof is on the injury victim, so contact us right away. When you fall hard, we fight harder. Farah & Farah, Jacksonville.
Here's another classic Florida-Georgia moment on 1010XL, brought to you by Island Oaks RV Resort.
Herschel Walker scores 8 touchdowns.
To gain the ball in Jacksonville as Walker sweeps to the right, gets outside, the 35, look out, he's past midfield and he's got a blocker, cuts to the inside, Herschel Walker, there he goes again.
Pitch it to Herschel Walker, try to get him outside, 40, he needs a block, there goes Herschel, Lindsey Scott through one of the blocks.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
I had some people fired up with me on my Florida State love. 4384 says Free Shoes University does not deserve to be in the playoffs because they haven't played nothing but crap competition, and y'all struggled against Duke in football, which is pathetic. Here's one here, 7130, who says, as Matt Hayes keeps saying, Ballou refuses to believe FSU is actually good. Ohio State has Marvin Harrison Jr. That's it. UGA's best and only tight end wide receiver is hurt. Geez, Ballou. So I'm like, what are you talking about? What's going on? Says, enjoy the win for once. The 7130 told me to enjoy the win. JJ, did he just hear what I said for 15 minutes?
I thought that was nothing but positives from an FSU point of view, including the fan base. So obviously this is someone who hasn't been listening or tuned in late or whatever. I don't know. Or they listen to we have a lot of these people. They listen to the entire segment, but they hear whatever they want to hear. It makes no sense.
They heard me say that other wide receivers are going to have to step up, and they're taking that as
you don't think they're good enough to get to the playoffs.
You know, I've learned this in 30-plus years of radio. It doesn't matter what you say. It doesn't matter what I say. It matters what they hear. And I guess there are people – I mean, obviously the Gator, the Free Shoes University, didn't like the fact that I was bragging about Florida State. The other guys like you know, Matt Hayes gets you on every week about it. You refuse to acknowledge how great they are.
And I understand that if you're talking about strengths of schedule and you bring up Michigan or even Georgia, but Florida State played LSU. So right there, your argument's gone. It sucks.
Here's a guy, 5105, says, Rick, do you have your headband on? I don't know. When we ask the younger generation, is there like...
Maybe he meant headdress.
Or headband, is he talking about like Doc Ellis or Jimi Hendrix where it's like laced with angel dust or something? What does the headband mean?
I think he probably meant headdress.
Oh, Chiefs. No, I don't. I don't have that on. Boy, this is fun. I got people out here blaming me for being now or getting on me for being a total homer. Do you know how much I miss this? And I do. I think there's some Florida State fans out there that they don't want me to be this way. They want me to be miserable. They want me to be the curmudgeon and find a way to say that this team is not all that. Ballou, are you a left Twix guy or a right Twix guy. I love the candy bar Twix.
Oh,
We're in the month
top
of
5.
candy bars. Snickers to me is always going to be number one. If you didn't have a Mount Rushmore, I'm going to go Snickers and I'm going to go Twix. I'm probably going to go peanut butter Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. Probably going to do that. Number 4 for me, so many phenomenal candidates. I may go with the Mounds. I like the coconut.
I'm a classic Hershey guy.
Okay. I mean, that's all pure.
Simple.
Pure chocolate.
Yes.
Can't go wrong with any of that. The whole Hershey's family is outstanding. Mr. Goodbar and Crackle. Crackle's got that little crunch to it.
Have you ever been to Hershey, Pennsylvania?
Bro, I dated a girl from Hershey, Pennsylvania.
So you guys went to the park?
No, we never went anywhere outside of her apartment, my apartment, and a couple of bars. I dated her in Tallahassee.
Sounded very serious.
Hershey, Pennsylvania, but she was from that. I was like, well, that's the greatest sounding town I've ever heard.
Yeah, I'm like, they have a theme park, just like Willy Wonka?
Don't know. Do not know. 9,200 Ballou. Florida State short yardage is horrible. Norvell play calling is horrible. It's not the athletes. Last game was horrific. Norvell blows a play call every game. Go back to last season against LSU. Well, now you sound like me. I mean, it's very rare for me to not bring up him going for it on 4th down from their own 32 against Notre Dame. Mike Norvell has made questionable calls in his career, but he's won 13 in a row, and he's completely turned this program around. And in these 13 games, he's got Florida State scoring 30-plus points every game. Are there reasons to criticize? Sure. I mean, none of these are, the perfect picture. They're kind of they're ugly films, if you will. But in today's football, that doesn't matter. And I got you this right now, right here and right now. There isn't a team in college football that could play with last year's Georgia team, or play with the Georgia team the year before that, or play with the Alabama team going back 3 years ago, the LSU Joe Burrow. College football's down this year. And I don't know what the explanation is. Once again, Penn State, James Franklin, 1-9 lifetime against Ohio State. 4-15 lifetime against Ohio State in Michigan. 2-12 is James Franklin against top 25 teams on the road. I sold out for Penn State. Who's the big loser here? Are we on YouTube? Let's get up a hand. Look, is this the right way or is this the wrong way on YouTube? Or do I need to go like this? Which one works better?
Really?
Okay, I can't do both. That's a U.
Alternate.
You just got me to drop a U.
Alternate.
I sold out heavily on Penn State. And it didn't work there. This isn't classic Georgia. It's good enough. You sure as hell better win this weekend. Don't ruin my Saturday. Okay?
We might not show up on Monday.
Just don't. I've never called in sick on a Monday in my life. If the Gators knock off the Dogs, I just don't do it to me, Georgia. Are you kidding? Going out and win a football game. I think maybe the only exception to this rule could possibly be Michigan. But there's not a team. And I had Leon. You were producing it. Leon asked me the obligatory, Blue, where would you rank this Florida State team? And I'm like, this Florida State team may ooze into top 10. This team isn't as good as 87.
Out of all-time Florida State teams.
All-time Florida State. He asked me. They got 3 natty teams, 96, not as good as 96, 97, not as good as 87, not as good as 89, 91, 92. I'm like, they're outside the top 10 or right at number 10. Oh, you got to be kidding me. You got to give this team credit. I am giving them credit. But they're not as good as those teams. Not even close to as good as those teams. But they're good enough. They're good enough to win games now and find ways to win games. Wife went to UNC, thought I was going to go to a good FSU-UNC Atlantic Coast Conference Championship game. That got blown up on Saturday night. Good luck to my Noles, my alma mater. Yeah, that one I have not seen outside of highlights. But how in the heck does Virginia go in there and win a game?
I still think UNC will get there. I mean, they're tied with like 4 or 5 other schools with only one loss in the ACC. That game was on CW, like you said. Literally no one was able to see it. But they lost the turnover margin and still won, Virginia. But apparently their offensive line just manhandled UNC the entire night. It wasn't a fluke, from what I've heard. I was shocked by that. To me, that's probably the most shocking result of the season so far for me. Like, I thought North Carolina was on the level of Florida State. I was very wrong about that.
And I've been concerned about Gene Chizik in that defense forever, but he made me eat some words. I mean, early on this year, they were doing what needed to be done defensively to win games. And, it totally got away from them on Saturday. I have yet to watch your game. I have it on tape. It's going to be an appointment viewing for me.
Defensive struggle.
Either late tonight after the games or if not tomorrow. But give us a minute on Miami over Clemson.
Yeah, so obviously Van Dyke didn't play, which changed everything we did play calling wise. And most of the game, I would say 3 quarters were very pedestrian on offense for Miami, like screen passes, run the ball, play amazing defense, which they did. Held Clemson to 31 yards rushing, 10 tackles for loss, 5 sacks. Bain, you know who that is. This defensive end kid.
He got player of the week.
He is a monster, man. Like, he's potentially going to be a top 10 pick. I know it's very early, true freshman, but this guy's a talent. So Miami's down 10 going into the fourth quarter with a backup quarterback. So for them to be able to come back is amazing. I had no doubt they would lose the game at that point. They weren't doing anything on offense. But, yeah, they get to overtime. They have a couple good drives, and their defense has a great goal line stand. Apparently the last play of the game, which I'm sure you've seen, was like Klubnik. It looked like an RPO, and he keeps it and takes it out to the left. Dabo totally threw him under the bus after the game. It was just like, that was a handoff. He had no business doing that. Like, he was trying to do too much. But I'll say this real quick. Last thing. There was a safety in that game that was missed in live play by the ACC officials, went back and reviewed and still missed. I don't understand it. If you see it, I know you'll be on my side. I don't care how big of a Canes hater you are. That was outrageous, and that was one of the many ref mishaps I saw this weekend, Saturday and Sunday, but mostly Saturday. I saw some egregious errors out there that cost a lot of teams.
Emory Williams.
Yeah, man, he's a
Emory
freshman.
Williams. Looking forward to watching this game. I was in Tallahassee and yesterday fully engulfed in everything around the NFL and watched that baseball game.
Tough, old
late
school.
last
Like
night.
both teams, they're going to be hurting all week after this.
Yeah.
I am worried about that Virginia game.
Now, was Van Dyke, what is it, an
He's
ankle?
going to play. Well, like you said earlier
We don't know.
With Norvell and how top secret they are with injuries in college football. It's a, quote, lower body injury. So it's like, did he tear his ACL or does he have a bum ankle? Like, you can't tell. But apparently he will be playing on Saturday.
All right, let's come back and stay with college football. I want to bring up this ESPN poll that came out that fired up college football fans, and I love it because I am one of those who believes if you win and win and win and win, it's not going to matter. I have always believed that in the case of Florida State and the Atlantic Coast Conference, if they lose, they're done. They don't have enough street cred. They don't have a difficult enough schedule. There's room for zero error. You have to win every game. But the graphic that came up when Fowler and Herbie were calling it really incited quite a few people. If you don't know what that is, good. We'll share that with you on the other side. If you want to get involved with the program, 2 ways to do it. On Twitter, Ballou1010XL, or our text line brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. That number is 641-1010.
Your play-by-play home of Bulls Bulldogs football is 1010XL.
I'm Bulls Bulldogs head coach Matt Toblin. Friday night is senior night at Skinner Barco Stadium against Bishop Kenny, and you can catch the play-by-play on 1010 AM.
At Randy Marion Cadillac in Jacksonville, it's a great time to buy a luxury Cadillac.
2024 XT5s and XT6s.
CT4s and CT5s.
With 2.9% financing for 36 months.
And a $1,500 discount when you finance through Cadillac Financial on XT5s and XT6s.
It's a great time to get the luxury Cadillac you've been wanting.
And we've got a huge selection of certified pre-owned Cadillacs that are like brand new.
Randy Marion Cadillac, Southside Boulevard, Jacksonville. Plus tax tag title, $8.99 admin fee and resistol.
Tell them Jennifer sent ya.
Ballou here for Spunez Vision. Why Spunez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Spunez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Spunez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Spunez is fellowship-trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SpunezVision.com today. Care you can see.
Honey-do list around the house just getting longer? First Coast Home Pros has handyman services you can trust. From bathroom remodeling to home repairs, First Coast Home Pros has you covered. Go to firstcoasthomepros.com.
Are you 18 years or older, just got married, just got divorced, or have children? Listen up. Have you done your last will and estate planning? If you have questions, call Matt Hinson with the Hinson Law Firm. Reach him at 527-1700, offices Jacksonville, Florida. And don't let the state decide your fate.
W's and L's are what it's all about in football season, and you know you want to be a winner. Well, don't forget about calling Florida Home AC at 777-4300 before all your friends come over and that AC or heating unit conks out. You'll have that L on your forehead, and that sticks. Make sure your AC can handle the heat and invite the gang over for a win. Florida Home AC, the official AC partner of the Jaguars, with prompt and quick service to make sure you stay cool in the heat and warm in the winter.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On October 23rd, 1903, the 8th Iron Bowl, Alabama beats Auburn 18-6 in Montgomery.
Even as prices seem higher on almost everything now, count on Famous Quick Lube to still have the best price in town. Get your oil changed, tires rotated, and fluids topped off super fast for the best price at Famous Quick Lube.
Post-game Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff.
This is Hayes Carline for First Florida Credit Union. I bank with First Florida Credit Union because I trust them. I can always count on them when it comes to the vast services they provide. First Florida Credit Union was voted Best Bank in the 2023 Best of Bold City Community Choice Awards, and it's easy to see why. I go to the branch off 210 in St. Johns County and the new Durbin location, but they have 10 branches in the Jacksonville area. You need to be banking with First Florida Credit Union. They're enriching people every day. Federally insured by NCUA, Equal Housing Opportunity Lender.
I'm here with Clayton Bromberg of Underwoods. Clayton, I've got a simple question. How much does a 1-carat diamond cost?
Frank, that's an impossible question to answer because a carat is only a measure of weight for gemstones. It'd be no different than me saying, I have a beautiful wife. She weighs 125 pounds, which you'd find is a ridiculous description. Diamonds are graded for 4 factors, and carat weight is only one of those factors. The others are cut, color, and clarity, and each of these factors is graded specifically and set by a certified gemologist in an accredited gem laboratory. So when you ask about a diamond's weight, we're going to tell you more than just the price. At Underwoods, we want a customer to understand how all 4 factors of diamond quality relate back to the rarity and value of the diamond. Needless to say, we all understand the value of a dollar. At Underwoods, we want our customers to know what their dollar buys in diamond value. So if you're shopping for the best, stop by Underwoods.
That's at Underwoods in San Marco, in Avondale, or at the shops of Ponte Vedra.
O'Reilly. Protect your vehicle's engine with Syntec and O'Reilly Auto Parts. Syntec Premium Full Synthetic Motor Oil is formulated for today's engines to dissipate heat and friction and reduce wear. Get 5 quarts of Syntec Full Synthetic and a MicroGuard Select filter for just $33.99. Limit supply. See store for details. Get Syntec only at O'Reilly Auto Parts.
O'Reilly. Fence.
Valor Bare Knuckle 2 is returning to UNF Arena Friday, October 27th. This is your chance to win tickets and meet UFC Hall of Famer Ken Shamrock. Text 936-237-7414.
I'm living the life that I lived before I started having knee pain 10 years ago.
Meet Julie, a woman who makes the most of every moment in life. But over the last years, those moments were filled with agonizing pain until she discovered QC Kinetics.
Finally, the pain got so bad that people around me are like, oh, when are you getting your knee replaced? I was walking, hobbling. I listened to my last QC Kinetics commercial and I said, I'm done. I got to find out about this.
What Julie found out was QC Kinetics treats osteoarthritis with regenerative therapies, taking your body's own healing properties and concentrating them in the areas where you feel pain, helping heal and restore those damaged areas. No harmful steroids, surgery, or downtime.
It changed how I'm living. I'm able to do the things that I wasn't able to do for a long time.
Get back your life before the pain. Call QC Kinetics now for your free consultation.
Call QC Kinetics, 904-274-5522. That's 904-274-5522. 904-274-5522.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
That's some Jaguar news. Gregory Jr. loved him in camp. Actually thought by now he would be in over Trey Herndon, who's played well. Okay? I'm wrong very rarely, okay? So when something does happen and I'm wrong, I have no problem admitting it. Trey Herndon's played well enough so far, but Gregory Jr. is now been taken off the reserve injured list, designated for return, so he'll have 21 days. We saw that recently with DeJuan Smoot. We're in the process of seeing that with Devon Hamilton, and it'll happen sooner or later with Gregory Jr. Also, Nathan Rourke was waived by the organization. We'll see if he ends up coming back to the practice squad at one point. All right, I want to get to this. Yeah, I got to say this as well. I've been to Tallahassee twice in the last 3 weeks, and it's just it's incredible. It's a lot of fun. Greatest tailgate party you could imagine. All right, 2 TVs, so we got the games on. Everyone brings coolers with their tables with food and liquor and shots and all that good stuff, and it's the greatest that you could possibly ask for. They sat there playing god-awful country freaking music. And I'm like, can we do something about this? Can we change it up? Who do we need to pay? Now, this is actually okay. This is the Chattahoochee song? Is this Chattahoochee?
I was shocked that you knew that. That's
well,
impressive.
This is like the one song I actually did like, Alan Jackson, right?
Yeah, hell yeah. I love that. Dang, I picked the one good
but
song.
Some of it, and it's my brothers, they with Theta Chi's, and it's all these Theta Chi's, and they're all married now, and they all get their kids there. Many of you go to school there, and everyone's having a good time, but, oh, man, the music is so
You know
bad.
what my theory is on why country is so big? Well, where I'm from, it's huge just because it's very rural. But there is no rock music anymore. Name a new rock band.
Can't.
You can't. So us white folk,
and
that's sort of what we like. That's all there is. So that's what it's become. So it's either like classic rock like me and you love, or I guess there's 90s alternative, like 90s 2000-ish alternative and 90s grunge, 80s hair band. But I don't know what the last 20 years has there even been. I don't even know.
Who is the most popular rock band in the last 20 years?
Maybe like the Killers.
Coldplay?
Coldplay, that's actually a good one.
What's the one that sounds...
Imagine Dragons.
What's the one who sounds like Zeppelin a little bit?
Oh, Greta Van...
Yeah, Greta Van Sesteren.
Fleetwood, or I don't even know.
Greta Van something. They actually sound pretty good.
They do, but they sound exactly like Zeppelin.
Yeah, and then they get pissed when you try to compare them.
Do they?
Well, that's what I've heard. I don't follow them. I just hear stuff. I think I might have read it on a bathroom wall or something.
Like, we're just noticing, folks. That's all.
I'm like, you're being compared to the greatest rock and roll band
Yeah,
of all
relax.
time. I mean, yeah, so.
Or
But
not
even
like,
like
hey, they sound like Milli Vanilli.
But like the hip hop and stuff. You know,
Hip-hop is huge.
You can groove to it, and it's okay. Sometimes the language is a little nuts.
Especially for a family tailgate.
Seeing an older white guy like me at a family tailgate, some of that music probably isn't what you need. But that country stuff, and everyone's about drinking and a three-legged dog and my pickup truck that won't start. And it's like they're just so... It's the lowest common denominator of a human being. And I'm like, they had to have written that song sitting on a throne, just, hey, I got 5 minutes. I think I'll write a country song. And it's like once in a while, okay.
Some are more simple than others. I'll say like the more recent country music is all very simpleton music. And it's pop. That's what new country music is very poppy too. It's trash. But yeah, there's some great old country artists. Alan Jackson, a perfect example.
Yeah, I mean, I could appreciate some old school Willie, and some Merle.
Now we're talking.
When they
Some
covered
outlaw
Poncho
country.
and Lefty, well, all the Federalists swear they could have brought him in, they could have arrested him, but they let him go. Lefty met his match one day out in the desert. When he went back to Ohio? That's a great song, Poncho and Lefty. So I don't mind some old school.
Since I know you're offending so
country.
many of our listeners, they should text in, give Rick one. He loves a good story song.
Yeah.
So give him, a good country story song, like Old Red, I would recommend.
Give me a good
classic
song.
Old Red is one of my favorites.
Here's a little something that I'm kind of looking for when you sent it in. Mama got released from prison, picked her up in my pickup, but we ran out of gas. The three-legged dog got hit crossing the road, so we just sat there and drank a beer.
I believe that is an Alan Jackson song.
If you could send me something along those lines, then that would we're guaranteed to play that, okay? Because that's good stuff.
Yeah, I think that's a Zach Brown Band song.
But I've taken my girlfriend to I've taken her to the Zach Browns and the
Eric Church, maybe.
Who's the guy who retires? Garth Brooks, Kenny Chesney. I've taken her, because I'm a good man. I spend most of my time in the beer line.
Now Garth has some amazing songs, dude. Kenny Chesney's more like poppy. You wouldn't love him.
I like the Bostons. I've taken him. I've gone.
Okay.
Same at Daly's place. I like the Boston song. What about the girl with the Boston? She's serving beers. It's almost like a rip-off from Brandy. Brandy, you're a fine girl. Her lover's out at sea.
Yeah.
The Kenny Chesney song sings about the girl with the Boston.
I think it's just called Boston.
Red Sox cap on.
She comes from Boston.
Yeah,
works at a jewelry
she comes
store
from Boston.
down in the harbor.
Oh, man. I mean, you talk about romance.
She wears a Red Sox cap to hide her baby dreads.
Oh, man, we may have to play that.
Okay, I got you.
I mean,
I've
that is
never heard this.
Oh, it's so good. You may want to go out to the ashtray before you play it, though. You really going to dig it? Now a lot of people give me
I won't really enjoy it if I don't. So.
People give me a bunch of Johnny Cash and stuff. I'm in with Johnny Cash. I
don't consider him like
issue.
country.
I don't have an issue with
that.
that.
He obviously is.
All right, looks like I'm going to save this playoff predictor for the beginning of the 7 o'clock hour. Why don't we do that? Send me some country. You folks, I mean, you can develop me. Look how mellow I am now. Remember back 30 years ago when I put the mayor on hold or tell my boss to do this and do, look at me. I got so much to lose now. I never take chances anymore. I'm Ballou mellow, It's like mellow. Hey, man, mellow yellow. It's Ballou. It's Ballou light. He's got kids and he's got this. He's not going to take. So educate me on it. Give me a little. Have you seen our text line?
No, but I bet it's blowing
It's
up.
going absolutely freaking amazing with the stuff that we are getting that is coming in. We'll share some of that with you. Plus, we begin the 7 o'clock hour with the heated debate that is the ESPN Playoff Predictor.
2 hours spent on two things: your Jags and the rest of the NFL with Mike Dempsey and Fat Tony.
Jaguars Today from the Jacksonville Orthopedic Institute studios.
Every weekday from 10 to noon on 1010XL.
Key Buick GMC. Save up to $6,500 on new Buicks to combine big savings with a low APR to fit any budget. Like 1.9% APR financing for 36 months, 4.1% for 60 months, or 5.04% for up to 72 months. Also, right now, enjoy no payment on new Buicks until 2024. Whenever you buy a brand new Key Buick GMC, it always comes with the lifetime powertrain warranty. Across the street from Tinseltown, Southside and Gate.
Want to be up close and personal with the Jaguars as they take the field? Here's your chance to be in the shadows, outside the Jaguars locker room, now called the Vault. Enter today at jaguars.com/shadows. One winner and guest for every home game at Everbank Stadium. No purchase to enter or win, must be 18 or older and a legal resident of Florida or Georgia. Promotion period 9/5/23 through 12/15/23. For official rules and complete details, visit jaguars.com. Sponsored by Jacksonville Jaguars, LLC.
DivorceMenOnly.com. This is Kenny Lay of Kenny Lay & Associates. Our firm specializes in representing men in family law. That's all we do. That's our only focus. We can help with all of your family law needs, such as divorce, custody, alimony, and child support. For over a decade, we have helped thousands of men with these types of issues. We even have an appellate division ready to challenge a judge's ruling. If you need a family law attorney, go to DivorceMenOnly.com. DivorceMenOnly.com. Offices, Jacksonville.
Home of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
The best golfing weather of the year is upon us now, so be sure and book your tee time at one of the most unique and beautiful golf courses in North Florida. Visit HiddenHillsGC.com for the best rates.
You know, real estate research right now says housing prices are still rising slowly and inventory is still below historical averages. That means if you think your home right now is unsellable or there's a host of problems, then you haven't met Chad and Sandy, who will make sure those problems become promises. Chad and Sandy are the only real estate experts we trust and recommend with the sale of your home. Chad and Sandy guarantee your home sold at an agreed-upon price and deadline, or they will buy it. No required costly repairs. Pick your move date. There are no long-term contracts. Derek and Ashley out in St. John's Harbor said we were building a new home, but we had a big problem. 2 months on the market, and we had no showings and no offers with another agent. We were super stressed. Then we heard Chad and Sandy guarantee sale on the radio and hired them. They created an amazing plan to sell quickly and maximize price. The home sold in 10 days for more money than the previous realtor had listed. That's the promise and the proof of ChadandSandy.com. Go there today, ChadandSandy.com, or call them in office, 904-414-6200.
Now the Performance Painting High Performance Play of the Game. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
With the game on the line in the Crescent City, Jacksonville was in need of a hero, and Trevor Lawrence would step in the phone booth and step out with that teal and black cape. In the fourth quarter, the Phenom would find Lucky 13 Christian Kirk for a 44-yard go-ahead touchdown, making the score 31-24 with 3:45 left in regulation. The Kirk score is your Performance Painting Play of the Game.
Does your home or building need painting? For over 20 years, Performance Painting has had the privilege of preserving many of Jacksonville's most prominent buildings. That said, we feel like we're just getting started. I'm Jason Parker, and our team thrives on preparing, protecting, and preserving the homes, businesses, and public buildings that make up our local landscape. Contact us today to put our years of experience to work for you. Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Performance Painting.
Atlantic Self-Storage, the official storage partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Need to make room to watch football in your home or need a place to park your boat or RV? Store it all at Atlantic Self-Storage. Over 50 locations in Northeast Florida. 24-hour access, all with month-to-month leases. Moving? They can help with supplies. They make storage easy. Go to AtlanticSelfStorage.com or call 877-WE-STORE to find a storage solution near you. Go Jags!
Did
Did you know that all graduates of Local 234's apprenticeship program are licensed journeymen? That means all plumbers, pipe fitters, welders, and HVAC techs will have hundreds of hours of experience and have passed the Jacksonville City Licensed Journeyman exam. They're the best trained and safest skilled tradespeople in the industry. Don't leave yourself exposed to inadequate workmanship or even danger. Always hire a licensed journeyman. Local 234. Make the right connection. Equal opportunity employer.
Budweiser reminds us to drink wiser, like hydrating between beers. It keeps the fun going longer, and it's a commitment to responsibility. Remember, good times are ahead, so no need to overdo it. Know when to say when, and always designate a driver.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville.
She comes from Boston, works at the jewelry store, down in the harbor where the ferries come to shore.
Let's go into the night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Eric's down by the harbor where all the dead bodies float.
And a place so warm and real, she wears a Red Sox cap to hide her baby dress.
Ah, see, now this is good country right here, Duval. My hometown.
She flirts and tells the boys while they're talking. From Boston.
My ass is from Boston, too, and the best move I ever made was seeing that bad boy in the rearview mirror as I pulled out, not knowing one soul alive on the trip down to God's
It has
country.
a very, islandy vibe for a song about a girl from Boston.
Martha's Vineyard out on the island. Yeah, the harbor?
Harbor.
I mean, it's kind of a cesspool.
Well, though she has dreads.
Whitey Bulger's got bodies still floating in the bottom of the harbor. Somewhere, but no, I criticize the hometown. I do. Hey, listen, it's a great place to go, especially I recommend politics in Boston. That's great. You really enjoy yourself. Just go there and open up your ears. Okay? They actually like it better when you don't speak. All right, good stuff as far as I'm concerned, Kenny Chesney. And I rip Boston. I do, but and by the way, that's how I got the way that I am when it comes to being tough on Florida State, or I think being tough on the Jaguars. And I come from a tough pro town. And a town that has had a lot of success, a town that also had a tremendous amount of failure. Incredible failure. And I got to be honest, when I went from there down to Florida State, they blew that 19-3 lead in 1987 against the U, 1-2. And then you had the wide rights a couple of years later. I'm like, I am absolutely a jinx. No matter where I go, it's never going to happen. And it finally did. And last time I checked, Patriots won 6, the Red Sox won 4. Celtics win a bunch. Bruins have only won 1 in the last 51 years, and that's why I announced my divorce to the Boston Bruins, who are off to a 4-0 start, I may add. But I haven't watched it.
You haven't watched one game?
I haven't watched it.
Damn.
My brother's on me. He's like, at the tailgate, he's like, he's like,
we need you.
He's like, be honest with me. I'm like, bro, I canceled the package. I'm not going to do it this year. I'm just not even going to watch them. Okay? I'm not. I'll probably mention it tonight and won't mention it again for another couple of months. You know, I'm not going to walk around all upset about it. I'm just not, they're not deserving of my time. That's the way I look at it. I got other things that I can do. And, I mean, how much of our audience really cares when I talk about the Boston Bruins? How much of the audience really cares when I talk about the National Hockey League?
Right, but, some things you do for pleasure, other for business. Not everything, not all of your time has to be about work.
Tell you what, I have a better time putting on when the dog goes down an Old Yeller.
Oh, Jesus.
Than watching the Bruins play. Okay? I mean, they did it to me. That is a divorce. That is over after what happened last year. All right, the ESPN playoff predictor. This fired some folks up on Saturday night. A whole bunch of what about me and what is going on. If you don't know what I'm talking about, during the game, they flashed it on the screen with Dr. Herbie and Chris Fowler and took us through the 6 undefeated teams. Of course, 2 are in the Big Ten. And ESPN's playoff predictor if they are to go undefeated the rest of the way through. Whoever comes out of the Big Ten, only one can. We know Ohio State knocked off Penn State. Ohio State and Michigan, with the AP that has come out, are 2 and 3 respectively, behind only Georgia, who got 38 first-place votes. The 19th consecutive week, Georgia has been ranked number 1. Michigan's got 19 first-place votes, then Ohio State with 3 first-place votes. They're going to face one another. The winner, 100% chance of getting into the playoffs, according to ESPN. Next up, Oklahoma. They come in this week, number 6 in the Associated Press poll. They're 7-0. They really struggled with Central Florida. I think they missed 3 field goals in that game. They pulled it out 31-29 at home. Obviously, a little bit of rust after the Red River rivalry 2 weeks ago, where they got it done against Texas. They struggled on Saturday, but according to according to the ESPN playoff predictor, if Oklahoma runs the table, there's a 100% chance that they get in, representing the Big 12. They go to Kansas this weekend at high noon. They go to Oklahoma State the first weekend of November, host West Virginia, go to BYU, host TCU, and then you're probably going to get a rematch in the Big 12 championship game against Texas. They run that table. A 100% chance of getting in, according to the ESPN playoff predictor. The third team, Georgia, and 86%. I've been on Georgia all year because they have a laughable schedule, and there's nothing they can do about it. Part of the reason why it's laughable is because Georgia is so much better than the other teams that they do face. But, the whole UT Martin, Ball State, UAB, all right, let's now insert the obligatory, they were supposed to play Oklahoma, and they didn't. That was nullified. We get it, okay? That would have looked pretty good on their resume now, considering how well Oklahoma has played this year. But you look at the rest of the way through, obviously you got the world's largest outdoor cocktail party going on here at 3:30 on Saturday. After that, for Georgia, it becomes the most difficult part of their schedule. Missouri playing some really good football. They're ranked 16th. Mississippi playing some really good football. They're ranked 12th. You go to Tennessee, who played hard in Tuscaloosa, but lost. You got to take that trip on November 18th, and you wrap up at Georgia Tech. So if they win those 5 games, in my opinion, it's like, and you win an Atlantic Coast Conference championship game, which could be against a number of teams, repping the West, probably going to be Bama, but who knows? It could possibly be LSU. We'll see what happens in that rivalry when they play. The ESPN playoff predictor gives Georgia 86% if they run the table. 86%. I mean, this is the SEC. doesn't that have to be 100%? Right there with the Big Ten and Big 12. Apparently, the answer to that question is no. Again, this is according to ESPN in their playoff predictor. Number 4. Oh, this is where controversy began. It's the University of Washington. 71%. Right now, Washington sits number 5 in America. Okay, they do not have a first place vote. Washington just played an ugly football game against Arizona State and won it 15-7. Of course, that comes on the heels of struggling at Arizona and then finding a way with Michael Penix to throw the game-winning touchdown last week against Oregon, 36-33. So, what does that mean now for UW? They go to Stanford on the 28th. They got a USC, which all of a sudden is dying on the branch, on November 4th. They host Utah, which is going to be a difficult out. I don't think there's any doubt. They go to Oregon State, which I still think is one of the great unknowns in college football. There's just not a lot of love for Oregon State. And then they host Washington State, which is obviously now gone south. So, in a Pac-12 championship game. So, they have to win 6 more games. 3 of those on the road. 1 of those on a neutral site. I mean, if they can win at 24 USC and at 11 Oregon State, not to mention at home against Utah, that's pretty credible. 71% is where they are, according to ESPN's playoff predictor. That leaves us with Florida State, okay? Florida State, number 4 in the Associated Press poll. They got 3 first-place votes, tied with Ohio State. Again, Michigan has 19. Georgia has 38. You know, Georgia, Michigan, Ohio State, Florida State, top 4 teams in America. The other 2 undefeated teams, UW and Oklahoma. There are more undefeated teams, but I'm talking about those 6 ranked in the top of the AP. Then you get to 1-loss teams: Texas, Oregon, Alabama, and Penn State. Florida State, 43%. It fired up Seminoles. 43% if they win out. Now, obviously under this assumption, you're going to have a team go undefeated out of the Big Ten. You're going to have Oklahoma go undefeated out of the Big 12. Georgia go undefeated out of the SEC. And Washington go undefeated out of the Pac-12. Right now, ESPN is saying if that happens, Florida State is left at the altar. They could go 12-0, win an Atlantic Coast Conference championship game, go 13-0, and not make it into the playoffs. Well, we just went through the other schedules. I didn't go through the Big Ten schedule because you know that that's going to take care of itself because Michigan and Ohio State play one another. Let's look at Florida State. They go to Wake Forest at noon on Saturday. Florida State's won 3 in a row. I'm not supposed to say that, am I, JJ? If that's what gets me in trouble,
You mean Wake Forest has won 3 in a row?
Who did I say? Florida State has?
Yes.
Oh, my goodness, no. Wake's won 3 in a row. That's what gets me in trouble.
Just even stating a negative fact.
Right. And I get it. What Florida State people want me to do is just say, Ballou, you don't have to throw that in there. Just say Florida State plays at Wake. You don't have to tell us that Wake's won 3 in a row in that series. So I understand why I get in trouble. They go to Wake. They go to Pitt. They host Miami. They host North Alabama. They go to Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. 3 out of 5 left on the road. Winston-Salem, cold, frigid Pittsburgh. And then Ben Hill Griffin Stadium. Home dates with Miami and North Alabama. On top of that, they'd have to go to Charlotte to win an Atlantic Coast Conference championship game. So you got 6 games remaining for Florida State, And again, they come in at 43%. Big Ten winner, 100%. Oklahoma, if they win out, 100%. Georgia, if they win out, 86%. I have a real problem with that. I do. Georgia should be in the 100. There's no way the SEC wins the national title every year. How can you have them in at 86? The UW Florida State back and forth controversy is valid. That's a talking point. That's a six-pack Miller-Lite conversation at a minimum. But I do have a feeling we saw two undefeateds go down this weekend, the matchup with Ohio State and Penn State. We also saw North Carolina go down. I think there are other teams that are going to go down. I mean, what are the chances of all five of these? And there's six, two in the Big Ten. But what are the chances of Oklahoma, Georgia, Washington, and Florida State going undefeated the remainder of the year?
Got to be less than 10%. Just if you would take every individual game each team plays and give the odds, especially the championship matchups, the Florida State versus UNC or whoever, Washington versus Oregon again, or Utah. What's the other one? Oklahoma versus Texas again. Yep. Like, that's really when the odds of them going undefeated go down drastically. Because, yes, these teams will be favored in the rest of their games in the regular season.
Yeah, out of those four games, two of the four could be rematches. And I guess you can make the case that, a Florida State-Duke game could be a rematch.
I didn't even think about Duke. I would say Florida State would be favored in that game, obviously. Georgia, would they be favored right now over LSU or Alabama? It's hard to say. I don't know.
Here's my reason why. LSU can't stop anyone.
Yes.
Their offense is electrifying. But Georgia is right there with Michigan and Ohio State as one of the three best defenses in college football.
Yeah, I agree. So maybe the only matchup in the championship where the undefeated team would be the underdog would maybe be Texas against Oklahoma again, or I would make Oregon the favorite over Washington at a neutral site. And I think odds makers would as well. Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. Like, it might even be less than 5% for all of those teams to go unbeaten. But if it does happen, Florida State really needs Miami to win out. They need Florida to win out. They need North Carolina to win out. They need LSU to win out, or look really good and get to the SEC title game.
Yeah, they're not getting any favors with who they've played. And there will be people that will look at their schedule or the lack thereof, and it's understandable. Okay? I mean, let's pull up Georgia lost 14 a game. Michigan 5.9. Penn State, even after the loss, 9-7. Buckeyes 10. The Air Force undefeated at 13-4. Even after the loss Saturday night in Tallahassee, Duke's only allowing 13-9. Then you got the Bobcats of Ohio. Then Georgia comes in at 14. So, yeah, it's pretty tough. Something's got to give there. I love LSU's offense. Love watching them play. What was I going to okay, yeah. Let's just see. We got to take a break here. Not named Florida State. In the ACC right now, North Carolina falls to 17. Louisville, I want to say, were they idle? Did they? Yes. They did not play.
Coming off a loss, obviously.
Right. To Pitt, they have Duke coming up, but Louisville is still ranked. Let's see, they're 18. Duke at 20. So that's it. I mean, you got Florida State in the top four. Then you got three other schools at 16, 18, and 20. And out of those three schools, Florida State's played one of them. They could face North Carolina, Louisville, obviously in an Atlantic Coast Conference championship. Clemson's out now.
Way out.
With 3 losses. Absolutely, they're out. And there's not a Seminole fan alive that would say, I'd rather play Clemson than Louisville. Okay? Or even that great passing offense that North Carolina has. Or a rematch with a healthy Riley Leonard and Duke. You're going to take any one of those teams over Clemson. I don't know how you think. I understand that. And That's, listen, the NFL, you play twice. Sometimes you play 3 times and no one bats an eye. In college football, it's like, what? You got to do it again? What? And we may have 2 this year, possibly 3 if it was Duke. And, I've left, for the most part, the Big Ten out of the conversation because the Big Ten is going to get it done on the field. But who knows? That championship game could be a rematch. Actually, that's still...
Oh, they still do divisions.
Yeah, it's still divisions.
Michigan and Ohio State are split no matter what. And if you look at the West and the Big Ten,
it's terrible.
It's Arkansas might win the West over there.
It would have been Iowa if they didn't bow out on Saturday.
They got really screwed. I mean, they deserve to win because they're so atrocious on offense. But they basically said that the kid was calling a fair catch when he obviously wasn't, and he returned it to it for a touchdown, and they end up not scoring on that drive and losing. I mean, there was like a minute left.
Look at Michigan.
Michigan's schedule, man.
You look at Wisconsin's last month, okay? And this may be the team who ends up repping if you look at Iowa. Okay, they lost 31-0 to Penn State. They win 26-16 over Michigan State.
Who is like the worst team in football right now?
I know. Michigan got them 42-0?
Yeah, they're bad.
Purdue, they knock off Purdue 2014. They win at Wisconsin 15-6. And then they lost Saturday to Minnesota 12-10.
Yeah, dude.
I mean, how does that happen? But they may rep it.
Like, what year is this?
Yeah.
This is like 1932, power T or wishbone offense stuff.
So it doesn't matter. Whoever comes out of Michigan, Ohio State, I mean, they're going to be a 21, 24-point favorite.
At least.
Whether it's Wisconsin or Iowa. Right now, Wisconsin's 5-2 in the conference. Iowa's 6-2 in the conference. Let me see if this and listen, Wisconsin's got Ohio State this weekend. Then they have winnable games at Indiana, Northwestern, Nebraska, and Minnesota. So that looks pretty that is certainly doable for Wisconsin outside of this weekend's game against Ohio State. Let's see here. Iowa, they have Northwestern. They have 3 straight home games. They host Northwestern, Rutgers, and Illinois.
Oh, those are all going to be like 16-10 finals. All wins for Iowa, I'm sure.
And then they go to Nebraska at high noon on the 24th. I don't know if that's a Saturday. That may actually be a Friday game. Let's see. It is, because Florida State plays at Florida on Saturday, November 25th. So that's good. It's good for us on TV because I know you all be glued in for that one. Iowa, Nebraska. I mean, come on.
Nebraska, who
this is our
has
audience.
A winning record right now.
I mean, we're talking Kenny Chesney. Listen.
Midwestern football.
Let's put on Into the Night, man. They're talking Iowa, Nebraska. I mean, wow, that show's really they've outdone themselves, man. The black shirts of Nebraska taking on Iowa. First 1-7 wins that game. All right, we got much more to do. We'll take it tonight till 8.
It's the game you talk about all year. Florida and Georgia.
2 awesome rival football fan bases.
It's Gators and Dogs.
This is the biggest cocktail party in the world for a reason.
Saturday at 3:30 on the home of the Florida Gators. 1010XL.
Did you know the new 2023 Honda Accord Hybrid has an onboard system that charges the battery so you never have to plug it in? When you think Honda, you think quality, value, safety. Now think hybrid. Visit your local Honda dealer and experience the car of tomorrow today.
Brackish Vodka, a proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars, is the smoothest local vodka you can find. Made right here in Jacksonville, Florida, 100% from corn, Brackish Vodka is the local gluten-free choice. Brackish Vodka, for those that live life slightly salty, a proud partner of the Jaguars.
The next time you're at Southern Social Whiskey Bar and Lounge and you're looking for something slightly salty, ask for Brackish Vodka.
This is Mike Lynch, PGA Golf Professional. Take it from me, if you're dealing with an orthopedic issue, talk to the doctors at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where you're treated like a pro.
This is Dr. Kevin Murphy with Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, where athletes are treated like pros.
Thanks to all of you who have allowed us to be part of your recovery. Call us at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists if you ever have a need.
Relieve pain and get back to life. SOS. Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
Let's fire up the flavor and ignite those appetites. Let's slow down and smell the barbecue. Because all your favorites are smoked for hours and ready for eating when you are. From our famous ribs to slow smoked pork. Enjoy some perfection by the plateful, safely in our dining room or in the comfort of your home. With curbside pickup, drive-through, and delivery. Sonny's Barbecue, local pitmasters since '68.
Brian and Angela Wall here with Window World. Hurricanes happen in Florida. That's not news. But what happens even more often than hurricanes are home break-ins. And if security is important to you, you might want to look into hurricane-rated impact windows.
What you may not know is that hurricane-rated impact windows not only help protect your home in case of a hurricane, but they also offer another level of security for your home.
Have you seen those videos on YouTube that show people trying to break through an impact window? A thief is way too lazy to spend his energy trying to break through one of our impact windows. That's why he doesn't have a real job like you. He'd rather break your non-impact window while you're at work. Window World has high-quality, very affordable hurricane-rated impact windows to help protect your home from hurricanes and from lazy thieves.
Call us today at 904-443-7001. Get a free estimate and see for yourself. You save energy, get more security, and the windows add value to your home. With all Window World windows, you get the best guarantee in the window replacement business.
Window World,
simply the best for less.
And thank you for your business.
This Date in Sports History is brought to you by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
On October 23, 1903, the 8th Iron Bowl, Alabama beats Auburn 18-6 in Montgomery.
When I say famous, what comes to mind? Celebrities? Athletes? What about your vehicle maintenance? Oh, okay, auto repair. Exactly. Now, when you need fast and reliable care for your ride, stop in to a Famous Automotive or Famous Quick Lube with 20 locations around town providing honest automotive service at your convenience 7 days a week. They also offer fleet accounts for your business. Sign up anytime at Famous Automotive and Quick Lube, servicing every customer like they're famous.
Congrats to former Florida running back Ernest Graham and cornerback Joe Hayden's induction into the Florida-Georgia Hall of Fame. To attend their induction lunch presented by Miller Electric Company Friday, October 27th, visit FloridaGeorgiaJax.com.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein & Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein & Robbins, fighting for your rights since 1975.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Dempsey here, and guess what? I am sporting a new wardrobe. Not because I've suddenly become a fashion icon, but because my old clothes started looking like tents on me. Thanks to Awaken 180, I lost over 25 pounds, and I'm fitting into sizes I haven't worn in years. And the true magic, my Awaken 180 coach, while other programs might wave goodbye after the initial success, Mandy's still in my corner, and it's all free. Awaken 180 isn't about repeat customers. They're not looking for a sequel, just the original blockbuster success story. In their world, you shed pounds for the last time. Look, it's been 9 transformative years for Awaken 180, and now, Jacksonville, it's our turn to get in on the secret. You want a refreshed, recharged life? Do it with Awaken 180. Medication-like results without the meds. Fast, easy weight loss that will actually last. Call 844-346-1800. That's 844-346-1800, or go online to awaken180weightloss.com.
1010XL is presented by Farah & Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars, protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555, Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
Good new stuff by Robert Plant. It's like Achilles' Last Stand.
Like, he even does the voice.
drugs, rock and roll, sex, drugs, rock and roll. Read Hammer of the Gods. One of the greatest biographies ever written. I'm reading a new one on Jim Morrison, and it was funny because on Friday night, I read that the first time Morrison was arrested was at a Florida State football game. Disorderly, drunk, doing all that. But it in the paragraph it said it included him pointing and making fun of the Florida State football players.
Just like way too cool for this.
Well, that was like in 61 or 62. I mean, Florida State had been in existence for like 5 years.
Let me look up the record.
They were terrible. So Morrison's on about 4 or 5 different drugs plus alcohol, making fun of them.
Yeah, 4, 5, and 1, not terrible.
Then made his way, of course, to UCLA, where Ray Manzarek was picking up his master's. And Morrison still got his degree. Some people didn't know that.
Do we know in what?
Oh, God, I read it too. It was something because he was like a film student, made a movie. It was something that was artsy. And
theater arts department in the College of Fine Arts, an undergraduate degree from there. So,
from what I understand, or this is what the book says.
Studied film.
Yeah, if it was in the book, it's got to be correct. Is he would go see Ray Manzarek and his band play, and he'd get really drunk again and start screaming for Louie Louie to be played. And then finally one day they were like, all right, you up here. You're drunk. You're embarrassing yourself. And I guess he did it pretty well. He went up there and did a Louie Louie.
Oh, they let him play.
Yeah. And then like some time went away, and he saw Manzarek. They were both stoned walking the beach. And that's when they had that conversation.
As
I guess
one is.
Morrison used to walk around with a notebook and showed him some lyrics. And then that's how it all started.
And what instrument did the other guy play?
Ray Manzarek was he played the organ, piano and organ.
Which is very important for that band. That's
Well,
their whole sound.
The Doors didn't even have a bassist.
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, Robbie Krieger played lead and Johnny Densmore on drums. But now there were times that when they cut album tracks, they would bring in a bassist. But yeah, I mean, Robbie Krieger comes in every year. I actually asked him about that. It was either last year or the time before when I got to talk to him. It's like, it is unheard of. Even these great 3-man bands all have a bassist. They set the bass line with the organ play of Ray Manzarek. But again, for some albums, they did hired a guy.
It gives them that like creepy
vibe. So great. I love the organ. I love the organ. I mean, I love when John Paul Jones plays it in like no quarter. Organ is such a great instrument. And a lot of those rock and roll bands, they wanted to stay away from it because they thought they would be too progressive, right? You know, go the way of ELO or Emerson, Lake and Palmer, or, a band like that. Deep Purple dabbed into it a little bit.
It's soft.
Hey, I got a real problem. I got to ask the listeners for some help here because we're at the crossroads. One of my cats, Crookshanks, he's I think he is a special needs cat. And he's got real serious problems. But he's so full of love. But we keep the litter box constantly clean. Last night, we're just sitting down watching TV. He goes right in front of us on the couch.
Oh, no.
And starts relieving himself.
Number 1 or 2?
1, here.
That's almost worse. You can't pick it up.
So then in the bedroom, I have a mat that's laid out because I got this back issue. So I try to stretch the back every morning. So I go in there, and there's a big dump on my mat. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. We give this cat love. We very hygienic. We clean the litter box. We got 2 of them out there. We got this little door that runs through and it goes into the garage, kind of a cat door, if you will.
Wow.
And it's in a little cage.
It might be a health issue.
But the GF's had it. She, wants to throw him in the pond. She knows there's a gator in that pond. And I'm like, listen, there aren't a lot of people out there who love me. And damn it, Crookshanks is one of them. Crookshanks loves me. I love Crookshanks.
Yeah, unfortunately, that might be no bueno.
What are we going to do about that? Luna and her sister, Luna, is perfect. Just kind of sits back, enjoys it all, but has no problems at all. But I'm like, how do you? Yeah, I'm reading online, and how do you? I mean, there's some therapist that you can hire that'll come in and plays a flute or something. You put on some earlier Jethro Tull, and you start playing the flute.
Play some Yanni.
And you're supposed to you're supposed to psych out the cat. So whenever the cat has to go, it knows to go through the cat door and into the litter box. But I was like, I don't want to give up this guy. I've had him for 6 years. I got him for my daughters. And the daughters are out now, but I don't want to lose the cats. I'm a total mush when it comes to that. I love those little guys.
Yeah, I hope it's not a health thing. I hope it's more of just a laziness. I mean, I was in probably hour number 10 yesterday of sitting on the couch watching nothing but, baseball and football, and I had to relieve myself, and I thought about not getting up, but
Lazy.
I'm married now, so.
How in the hell can those cats be lazy, man? They get about 20 hours of sleep a day. Every time I see them, they're shutting it down. And when they're not sleeping, they're eating. That's it. But, yeah, I don't know if anyone has any remedy for that. Please, selfishly, I'm asking on the text line, 641-1010. That's brought to you by Lifetime Enclosures. I got to imagine some of you out there listening has dealt with a problem like this. So, yes, it is kind of hard. Tomorrow night we come in after Helmets and Heels. Wednesday night, 6 to 8. Thursday, we're mixing things up because of college, of high school football. We're actually going to be on from 2 to 4 on Thursday on the AM. Okay? That'll be 2 to 4. And then Friday, we're going back to our normal Friday night show, which would be kind of cool. That is going to be 6 until 8. Yeah, some things are happening, and we will adjust with that as we always do. Haven't spoken a lot today on the Jaguars. That's fine. We certainly were on them all last week, and that included Friday after their 31-24 victory over the Saints. We'll dive back into that tomorrow, and I think one of the major conversations is going to end up being, you got a week now to make a move. And are they going to make a run at someone to help them with their pass rush? Right now, Jacksonville, 31.2% is their quarterback pressure rate. That is the 6th lowest in the NFL. Their 13 sacks is 5th lowest in the NFL. And their sack rate is 3rd worst in the NFL at 4.3%. Think of that. Think about that for a moment. Every time a quarterback drops back, 4.3% of the time, Jacksonville is sacking that quarterback. That is 30th right now in the NFL. And Josh Allen's had a good year, as we know. 7 sacks, 33 pressures. But outside of Josh, they certainly do need an uptick. And I got the clarification on it over the weekend, I believe, at some point when it actually did come in. But, DeJuan Smoot, who picked up a couple of pressures and had a sack, his snap count has really gone up. 47 snaps this past Sunday for DeJuan Smoot. You compare that to Caleb Von Chason, only got 21. Obviously, they have made that move. But you're going to need at least one more pass rusher, I believe. And you got a week to get that done. So that'll be part of what we do coming up on Tuesday's show.
Yeah, I have an update before we break on your situation.
They didn't tell me to shoot him, did they?
No,
Okay.
There is a product called Feel Away, and it's like Feline Away, F-E-L-I Way, and it's like $20. You plug it in.
$20 I can handle.
And it stops the cats from urinating / pooping and fighting.
Well, I don't
It's got,
you
like, pheromones
steal
or
away.
something.
Is it, you say it's Robbie Dupree and Steal Away?
I don't know that reference.
You don't know? We're coming back with Robbie Dupree.
Okay.
You trying to tell me you don't know Steal Away? Oh, my goodness, man. Late 70s,
I
early
hope I
80s.
do. Maybe it's one of those that,
Early
like,
80s.
I've heard it 1,000 times, but I don't know the name.
Backseat of a station wagon. Oh, that's coming up next right here on your home with the Jags.
Yo, it's your boy E.T., and I'm back at it again with my instant reactions brought to you by none other than Brackish Vodka. Be sure to check them out on all social platforms. You never know what I'm going to do or say. That's E.T.'s Instant Reactions, powered by Brackish Vodka. Come on, somebody.
Now, the Hurricane Report. Brought to you by Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve.
Miami got a great performance out of their defense on Saturday as they overcame a 10-point fourth-quarter deficit to beat Clemson 28-20 in double overtime. The defense held Clemson at just 31 rushing yards and had a goal line stand to bring the Canes' record to 5-2 and give them their first ACC win of the season. Quarterback Tyler Van Dyke was out injured but should return this Saturday at 3:30 p.m. against Virginia.
Class action lawsuit forming if you tore your ACL while wearing cleats on grass or artificial turf. You may be entitled to a large financial compensation. Call 1-800-399-1111. That's 1-800-399-1111.
Prepare for the return of Valor Bare Knuckle 2, the true bare knuckle boxing platform, as they step back into the limelight for an exciting night of combat sports. Founded by legendary MMA fighter Ken Shamrock, this Friday night at 7 at UNF Arena. Get your tickets today at ValorBK.com or at the UNF Arena box office. Valor Bare Knuckle 2, this Friday, live at UNF Arena.
Committed to the team, committed to the mission. At Navy Mutual, we're committed to providing high-quality life insurance to members of the military and their families. So our policies have no fine print and no military service restrictions. We don't work on commission. We're nonprofit, so we pass the savings along to our members. Because at Navy Mutual, our highest commitment is to you. Visit NavyMutual.org. Navy Mutual, insuring those who serve.
If you are a fan of the U, listen for the Performance Painting Hurricane Report.
I'm JJ LaSelva, and I bring you news and notes you need to know from Miami every week on the Hurricane Report.
On 1010XL, Performance Painting. Prepare, protect, preserve. Post-game Monday on 1010XL is brought to you by Dandy Foods, makers of quality fresh sandwiches and home of the good stuff.
Hey, I'm Tony from Tony D's Pizza. People ask me all day long, is it the water that makes the difference? Well, yes and no. Even water can't make a good pizza. It's the ingredients, too. The best tomatoes, the best flour, and the best cheese. Oh, and a lot of love. Tony D's New York Pizza, Bay Meadows and 295.
Universal Roof and Contracting presents the Offensive Player of the Game. Universal Roof and Contracting. The difference is universal.
Trevor Lawrence wasn't playing around Thursday in New Orleans. The chosen one was 20 of 29 for 204 yards, and he'd also throw one touchdown against the Saints. Even in a brace, Trevor Lawrence showed that he was that guy and also put Richard Sherman and the rest of the league on notice. Trevor Lawrence is your Universal Roof and Contracting Offensive Player of the Game.
Make sure your home is protected this hurricane season by scheduling a complimentary roof inspection with Universal Roof and Contracting. Right now, get 15% off your roof replacement and repairs, plus 0 down, no payments, and no interest for 12 months. This offer expires October 31st and restrictions apply. Universal Roof and Contracting, proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. License number CCC 1330747, CVC 1258484.
UniversalRoof.com. Men suffering from ED or PE, you'll see instant results on your first visit at Prime Men's Medical Center. For a limited time, your initial consultation and first treatment are totally free. You'll even get a gift that enhances performance in the bedroom. Call 904-664-8217.
Get Gators play-by-play on 1010XL. Brought to you by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. And Renewal by Anderson, the official window and door replacement partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Are spooky plumbing problems haunting your home this Halloween? Don't be scared. Call Duck Duck Rooter, your ghost-busting plumbing heroes.
Hi there, I'm Brian, your friendly plumber. Is your toilet making ghostly groans, or is your sink dripping like a vampire's fangs?
Don't let plumbing problems give you the heebie-jeebies. Call Duck Duck Rooter at 904-862-6769 and chase those spooky issues away.
Duck Duck Rooter, because even plumbing nightmares deserve a happy ending. Quacktastic service guaranteed.
Pastor Joby Martin here with the Church of 1122. We are honored once again to partner with the Boys and Girls Club of Northeast Florida for the Great Futures Weekend, which includes golf and Mackenzie's 5K run at the esteemed TPC Stadium course. Help us continue to honor Mackenzie Wilson's legacy. That's Friday and Saturday, November 17th and 18th. You can golf or you can run. It'll be a great time. Additional info at MackenzieRun.org. Proceeds go to the Boys and Girls Clubs of Northeast Florida.
1010XL is presented by Farah and Farah, the official personal injury law firm of the Jaguars. Protecting you and your family. Call 396-5555. Jacksonville. Into the Night with Rick Ballou on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
So, such a good song, so rangy. This song could either get you out of a bad mood or perhaps put you in one. It's got that type of gift, and lyrically speaking, just outstanding. The great Robbie Dupree. Especially towards the very end of the song when he says, "I caught you glancing my way." I mean, just think of the confidence to put that on paper. To do it is hard enough, and I've never had. Honestly, I've never experienced that before. But can you imagine having that in you, and part of your repertoire, to know that she's staring at you? Robbie Dupree, nothing but the best. Now, what's it called? It's not Steal Away. It's Feel Away. No, the song's called Steal Away, but the product that I got to get for Crookshanks.
Oh, yeah, Feel Away. F-E-L-I Way, yeah.
That's why I came up with Steal Away. Where are we in the song? I want to get to the point where he, I caught you glancing my way.
We're about a minute and a half in.
I don't think this bothers the listeners at all. I think our listeners love this. Into the night, says Robbie Dupree. Into the night. Yeah, I think it's about 20 seconds. I think we're going to get it. We're going to get it right here. I caught you glancing my way. Oh, man, to be a stud like that. I mean, just to dream it. Robbie Dupree. Thank you. And it's an Into the Night song. We learned that as well.
Now, today's takeaways, brought to you by Key Buick GMC, where our family dealership has been helping families buy vehicles for over 50 years.
You know, maybe I'll tell the girlfriend, I'll say, all right, we get rid of Crookshanks. We're also going to get rid of your beautiful brand new Key Buick Enclave.
Think she'll make that deal?
That'll go real well, and I love it. And the incentives are still burning right now. They are outstanding at Key. You can pick up a brand new Buick. You can get a GMC Sierra truck like I have as well. So there you have it. All right, my takeaways. Arizona looks as though they're going to force a seventh game. They're up 5-1 in Philly, middle of the eighth inning. So the Phillies have 6 outs to try to tie this up at 5 apiece. And then, of course, coming up in about 10 minutes, we will get Game 7 tonight in Houston. Man, the road team has been on fire in this series. Javier against Scherzer tonight. That is your matchup. The Hall of Famer in waning, Max Scherzer, 0-1 with 11.25 earned run average so far in playoff baseball. That's going to be a lot of fun coming up, again, in just a few moments.
Now, the 2-minute drill, brought to you by Tire Outlet. Keeping 1010XL rolling with wholesale prices and premium service. Tire Outlet, Jacksonville's largest locally owned automotive repair shop.
So how about that? You got a Game 7 tonight in Houston. You also got San Francisco in Minnesota. You got football and baseball.
Yeah, a little bit of a Jaguar twist tonight, too. You want San Francisco to just bury the Minnesota Vikings, right? So maybe they'll think, all right, it is time to mail it in, and maybe they will shop Danielle Hunter a little bit before the trade deadline next week. Yeah. So that's the angle I'm looking at. So Jaguar fans, root for San Francisco tonight. Because if Minnesota wins, they're 3-4 and probably think they're in the middle of it in the NFC. A loss tonight at 2-5 probably changes their tone on that.
Yeah, McCaffrey's back. Samuel's out.
Samuel is out, and so is Trent Williams, I believe.
Okay. Minnesota's a team that, I'm seeing where Cousins could be moved. Obviously, you mentioned Hunter, who's in the final year of his deal. Boy, here's what really interests me with Jacksonville. Let's say they made a deal for Hunter. Can you afford to re-sign him for top 5 money at that position? Then you got to re-sign Josh Allen. Oh, yeah, you got Trevor. You got Calvin Ridley. You got all those other decisions. And I know the salary cap is so nuts that we just can't look at the money and say, yeah, you can do this and you can't do that, because there's ways around it. But I would hate to give up all this draft capital to rent Hunter for this year only.
Yeah, it's a good point. But again, if it cost you, say, a 4th and a 6th to rent Danielle Hunter for the last 10 games plus this year, with the way this team is orchestrated right now, that may be the missing piece between a divisional round game and the Super Bowl. So I don't know. It would be very tempting for me. And again, I don't know what Minnesota expects to get. Tennessee got a 5th and a 6th for Byard, and Philadelphia threw in a safety that Tennessee is going to put on special teams. So obviously Byard didn't go for that much. I wonder how much Danielle Hunter would go for.
Yeah, and Tannehill could be moved, and Derrick Henry could be moved out of Tennessee. It feels like they've already began their fire sale. It's crazy because you look at the standings, and Jacksonville's got a 2-game lead over Tennessee, but a 2-game lead over Indianapolis. And Houston, coming off the bye, has played 1 less game. They have 1 more loss, 2 less wins, so that's a 1.5-game lead right now for Jacksonville. There's a lot of football to play.
There is a lot of football to play. I don't know how much you've watched Tennessee, though. Their offense is horrible. It is really, really bad. And now they have the prospect of Ryan Tannehill being out with a high ankle, and it's going to be either Malik Willis or Will Levis for the next couple of weeks. And I know, talking to a lot of Titan fans, Titan media in Nashville, they think it's going to be a very long last 11 games of the year.
All right. Jaguars have the second longest winning streak right now in the NFL, behind only Kansas City, who, of course, has 6. The Jags with 4. I do think it's interesting in the AFC North. All 4 of those teams have won 2 in a row. Of course, the Jags go to Pittsburgh to try to win, and they've played well in Pittsburgh or at least recently. No doubt about that. All right, what's coming up?
Yeah, Rick, that's all of a sudden a really big game on Sunday. 5-2 Jacksonville at 4-2 Pittsburgh. We'll talk about it with Dave Campo. Monday night coaching with Campo tonight on Hacker After Dark. A guy you know very well, Jason Cole, is going to join us. Pro Football Hall of Fame voter, has covered the league for years. And I hear there's a cocktail party on Saturday. We can't forget that. Mike Huguenin, a college football encyclopedia. He's going to join me in the 9 o'clock hour as we dive into Florida and Georgia.
Mike, a former colleague of mine back in the good old days at the Sporting News. Always enjoyed his insight. So sounds like a whole heck of a lot of fun. Have a great show.
Thanks, Rick.
All right, Hacks Up now. That's it for us. I don't check the text line. If you want to get a hold of me, please do it on Twitter. That's Ballou 1010 XL. Tomorrow night, after Helmets and Heels, 6 to 8 on Wednesday. Remember, a special show on Thursday because of high school football. We're going to be on from 2 to 4 on the AM, and that means our Friday night show will go back to our regularly scheduled time. That'll be 6 until 8. Hey, I didn't get a chance to respond to a lot of you tonight on the text line brought to you by Lifetime Coaches. We just got hundreds and hundreds, but they are all appreciated, so thank you. For JJ LaSalva, I'm Rick Ballou. We'll talk on Tuesday.
They'll wear the helmets.
They should be fun to watch.
It's up to you if you want to wear